We will now begin our speeches from the 11 to 12 age category. To begin, I'd like to welcome, returning to our judging panel, Mason and Taslim. Please give them a warm round of applause. Now, I am pleased to introduce our final panel member, Livia Gruich. As the founder of Prescribing Happiness, Livia specializes in helping corporations and health centers create a happy and engaged workforce. With over 20 years of experience in marketing and education, she draws on her personal journey of balancing career and family to guide individuals through life transitions. Livia is also an accomplished author, sharing her insights in her upcoming book, Stop Searching for Next. As a Toastmasters International Speech Competition winner herself, she is dedicated to empowering youth with public speaking and leadership skills. Additionally, Livia serves as a course director at the Schulich Executive Education Center in Toronto. We are truly honored to have Livia on our judging panel, bringing her expertise and passion for inspiring young voices. A round of applause for Livia Gruich. As we listen to these talented finalists, let's remember the important issues they are addressing and how their ideas can contribute to a more sustainable world. After this round of speeches, we will conclude with the award ceremony. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate the power of young voices. Let's welcome our first speaker from the 11 to 12 age category, Karthihan Kamalanathan.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Karthihan, and I will be addressing to you about the UN Sustainable Development Goal of showing awareness to life below water. Picture our beaches gray with plastic in the water. This is what our world will become if we do not care for the 71% of it that revolves around water. Also knowing that 50 to 80% of life is found in the water will play an outstanding role in the reasons why we should care for the water and its creatures. This topic is of great importance because if we do not care for the water and its creatures, it will not only affect their lives, but our lives as well. By the end of my speech, you will know more about life below water. We humans are polluting the water. This causes it to become contaminated. This will make it unsafe to drink and will affect the well-being of many underwater creatures such as fish. In China, more than 320 million people do not have access to clean drinking water due to a number of interlinked factories in the country which dump many toxic synthetic chemicals that cannot be broken down into our water. This not only happens in China, but everywhere in the world. Also, overfishing will cause many species of fish to disappear from our waters. Did you know that more than 35% of the global fish stock was overfished? Without fish in our waters, the risk of climate change will increase because there will be less carbon sequestration, which is a process of keeping these emissions away. Yet there are many ways we can save lives below water, as individuals and as a community. As individuals, we can reuse, reduce, and recycle our materials, such as plastic. As a community, we can organize recycling groups to limit the amount of plastic and other waste we throw into our waters. We can also make it a rule where we can also make areas where you cannot fish at, making it a rule you cannot fish without license, and making more wildlife protection sites to save the lives of many different types of fish, allowing them to live and thrive. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Good job, Karthihan. Thank you. I think it's really important that he brought attention to things like overfishing and our food consumption when it comes to eating seafood and fish, because we don't really talk about it enough. Fishing with a license is very important, and not to break those rules, because not only are you breaking rules, you are adding to environmental degradation. So thank you for that, Karthihan. Next, I would like to introduce Sophia Chen.
I'm telling you, there is hope. I have seen it, but it does not come from the governments or corporations. It comes from the people. For thousands of years, we as humans have lived on this land, thriving on this planet's gifts. But today, because of our greed, we have become the biggest threat to its survival. Hello, my name is Sophia Chen, and today I will be talking about climate action. Climate change is no longer just a future problem. It is a here and now issue. For years, we have poisoned the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the land that we live on. Due to our greed, we have also destroyed the homes of countless animals, even leading them to extinction, such as the western black rhinoceros and the Baiji dolphin. We have cut down entire forests, polluted oceans, destroyed habitats, and sacrificed lives, all for the sake of making profit and meeting human needs. This will not only harm us, but the future generations to come. We are failing to realize the damage that we are doing. Our forests are disappearing, wildlife is vanishing, habitats erased, and the planet is warming at an alarming speed. They all play a crucial role in keeping our planet balanced. Forests help us breathe. They take in the carbon dioxide that we breathe out, turning it into oxygen for us. The forests are home to many wildlife, and with the trees being cut down, we are putting more and more wildlife in danger. The forest provides the food and shelter for them to survive. More than 80% of the Earth's terrestrial species call the forest their home. Oceans, like forests, are home to many animal life. The vast waters provide us with the water that we drink and the seafood that we eat. Many coastal communities rely on the ocean, as it is one of their main food sources. The ocean is home to more than 70% of life on Earth. Coral reefs, for example, support millions of species, providing food for coastal communities. There are many ways we can help stop climate change from getting worse. First, saving energy. Much of the electricity and heat that we use is powered by coal, oil, and gas. Switching to LED light bulbs and using energy-efficient electric appliances will already help us use less energy. Walking, cycling, or taking public transport can also help. Most of the vehicles on the road require diesel or petrol. Walking or cycling will help our health as well as help the environment. For longer distances, consider taking public transport. Eating more vegetables. Eating more vegetables, fruits, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and eating less meat and dairy can significantly lower our environmental impact. Producing plant-based foods generally results in fewer greenhouse gas emissions and requires less land, energy, and water. Just because governments and corporations are saying that they are doing something doesn't actually mean that they are. We cannot just wait for them to do something. We must take action now. Thank you for listening.
Sophia, thank you for that inspiring message. It's wonderful that they've noticed that when it comes to larger corporations and governments, that sure they're doing their fair share of work, but we also have to take a responsibility in taking care of ourselves and the people around us, such as doing things, as Sophia said, like eating healthy and reducing our carbon footprint by driving less, taking public transport, or walking more, which is awesome. Next, I would like to introduce Lucas Zhu.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lucas Zhu, and today I'll explain to you why zero hunger is very important and how we can help stop hunger. Did you know that 9 million people die each year from hunger? We need to stop hunger to make the world a better place. To begin, let me tell you how terrible hunger is. Almost half of all the children deaths in the world
which is about 3.1 million a year, are caused by hunger. Most of the deaths are located in Africa. At the time of my research, 6.9 million people have died from hunger in 2024 already. That's a real problem. Food should be a basic human right. Not giving enough food to people is violating a basic human right. Now that I've told you, the number of deaths from hunger are devastating. I will talk about the three main causes for hunger. The three main causes are poverty and war, inferior agriculture, and poor nutrition. The first reason is poverty and war. Some people can't even afford food for their families. The problem is getting worse while the wealth gap between the rich and the poor is widening, and the poor people are struggling more than ever to keep up. Also, some countries, like Somalia, are affected by wars where their farms are often heavily bombed, mined, or shelled, which led to the most hunger deaths in the world. The second important cause of hunger is poor agriculture. These countries, including Chad and Congo, are where a lot of hunger deaths occur. Lastly, malnutrition also contributed to hunger deaths. Pictures of kids with malnutrition always scare me. In those pictures, the children look like skeletons with eyes and skin. They don't even have enough nutritious food they need to grow. Now that I've told you the three main causes of hunger, I'll discuss the ways to solve it before the problem gets worse. Firstly, donations. Wealthy people and countries can help donate to the ones that are struggling. Secondly, we need peace so the farmlands not be destroyed. Further, wealthy countries can help educate the locals to grow various types of farms and teach them how to use technology to make farming efficient. Now that I've told you why hunger is terrible, revealed the three main causes of hunger, and discussed how to solve the problem, we can all agree that we need to work together to eliminate hunger. Thank you for your courteous attention.
Thank you, Lucas. It's amazing to see how the younger generations now, with their access to tech and research, they're able to not only notice the problems that we face in our local communities, but talk about countries that we don't hear about often. You know, countries in the global south, the countries that are on the other side of the world. Lucas was able to do that research, and I think that's very commendable, so thank you. Next, I would like to introduce Noor Al-Haya Hafiz.
Poverty, the 7-letter word that kills 11 children every single minute of every single day. Poverty, the word that continues to destroy us after years of countless discoveries, technology, and world-changing historical events. Poverty is much more than not being able to afford your favorite trending brand or the newest toy or the iPhone you just want to have because everyone else has it. Poverty is the fear of waking up every single day wondering if your parents will even be alive. Poverty is the pain of knowing that the continuous fear you see on your parents' faces will never end. Ending poverty is one of the top goals of the United Nations Sustainable Development, with a bold commitment to end all forms of poverty by 2030. Now, the UN has started to make changes, like launching the Poverty Environmental Plan. But are these efforts really enough? Can we really believe that by 2030, in just 5 years, that the 712 million children and families suffering from poverty will all be saved? Which is exactly why I urge all of us to take action. Every passing second we waste, a child is gone. A child that could have been a scientist or a doctor. A child that could have found cures to incurable diseases like cancer is gone forever because of our inaction. In North America alone, landfills take up 2,300,927 acres of land. Now, these landfills are full of non-renewable waste, household trash, commercial and industrial waste, but they are also filled with clothing that were thrown out after a small tear or hole. In North America, A single person throws out 81.5 pounds of clothing. Now, in total, that is 27,294,350,000 pounds of clothing going to waste every single year. Now imagine, what if instead of throwing out these clothes, we would donate them to people experiencing poverty? In fact, 45 people die every single day because they are not able to afford proper clothing to protect themselves from the cold. But it doesn't stop there. 9 million people who experience poverty die from hunger-related issues. Every single year in the United States, 66 million tons of food go to waste. What if, instead of throwing out these perfectly fine foods, we would donate them to food drives and charities that work together to stop poverty? As we look into our future, we must ask ourselves, what kind of world do we want to leave behind? A world where millions of children and families suffer, or a world where we stand together to create a change? Every moment we waste, several lives are lost, which is exactly why every single one of us should take action, whether it's donating clothes and food or it's standing up and spreading awareness. So I ask you one last time, will we let poverty define our future, or will we be the generation that finally ends it? Thank you.
Noor, thank you so much for that speech. I don't think I've heard a speech about poverty where they mention clothing and clothing waste, especially with the growing phenomenon of fast fashion, where people are buying cheaper clothes at lower qualities just so that they can throw them away the next week when they're out of season. Right? So Noor, thank you for waking us up and opening our eyes to that phenomenon. Next, I would like to introduce Pavan Purushothaman.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to share a big idea about a global pressing issue, clean water and sanitation. Water is essential for all living things to survive. Without water, we would only survive 3 days. Keeping this in mind, over 2 billion people, you heard me right, 2 billion people, that's 26% of the world, don't have access to clean water. Also, 23% of the world doesn't even own a toilet. Crazy to think of, right? That's why today, I wanted to show you guys the importance of having clean water and proper sanitation. Firstly, I wanted to talk about why dirty water and improper sanitation is bad for us humans. The World Health Organization has stated that contaminated water and poor sanitation are linked to transmission of diseases such as cholera, diarrhea, dysentery, hepatitis A, typhoid, and polio. Did you also know that 80,000 kids, just like us, die each year? And that some countries till this day still practice open defecation? This is really bad, as when we practice open defecation, our feces can run into our food and water sources, which can attract flies and lead to the spread of more waterborne diseases. Secondly, I wanted to talk about why dirty water and improper sanitation is bad for the environment. Water is needed for the sustainability of an environment. Without water, everything would die. Dirty water and improper sanitation causes coastal dead zones, toxic stress, biodiversity loss, habitat loss, and many more. An example of this is when we practice open defecation. When we practice open defecations, our feces are more likely to run into a river. And when that happens, the methane gas release can be toxic to all the aquatic life. Another example is when our feces run into our food sources. When that happens, our crops could grow more slowly, die faster, and if consumed by us, might affect our health a lot. So then you might ask, how do we meet our goals? Well, to meet our goals, we need to pick up the pace and accelerate the progress by 6 times for drinking water, 5 times for sanitation, and 3 times for hygiene. This means we need to spend around $5.4 billion per year till the year 2030. Sounds like a lot, right? But actually, it's not. We spend $10 billion just on the space sector alone. Well, now, you might ask, what can I do to help fix these problems? Well, what you can do is increase awareness in people, have evidence-based action, increase investment in the sector, and invest in water research and development to help stop the spread of more waterborne diseases. Thank you for listening to my speech about UN Sustainable Goal number 6, clean water and sanitation.
Pavan, thank you so much for that inspiring speech. Clean water and sanitation is such an important concept, especially because of how much we take it for granted here in the global north. I remember one time my water was cut off for a day and my entire world turned upside down because I didn't know what to do with myself. Couldn't shower, couldn't go to the washroom, couldn't clean, couldn't use the washing machine, and etc. Right? And the fact that people are still fighting for clean water is an issue that continues to need awareness. Next, I would like to introduce Sean Santos.
Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever." These words remind us how powerful learning is. Hello, everyone. What if I told you that there's one superpower that fights poverty, ends hunger, tackles climate change, and promotes equality all at once? Sounds unreal, right? But it's real, and it's called quality education. Quality in education isn't just a fancy jargon. It's as simple as giving everyone the right tools, support, and opportunities to learn, grow, and succeed. It's about making learning real, accessible, and meaningful to all. It's not just textbooks and homework, but it's a spark that powers all the other sustainable development goals. Because when you educate a mind, you empower a voice, uplift a family, build a community, and transform a nation. It's a magic that turns dreams into degrees, ideas into inventions, and problems into progress. Quality education is the upgrade our world needs, so let's dive in. Let me start with a homegrown story. Growing up, my grandpa was often told, "Why waste money educating your daughters? They'll just become housewives." But he wasn't having any of that. He gave my mom and aunts the ultimate superpower, education. He believed it would make them all strong and independent women, and he was right. Today, all three are successful engineers, providing my grandparents with a life of peace and pride. My aunt, the school topper, even became a gold medalist. My mom, well, she tried to follow in her sister's footsteps, but ended up coming in second. Well, at least that's how she tells the story. She's convinced it was all part of the plan to let her sister shine. But either way, my grandpa could not be prouder, knowing that he'd empowered his daughters to choose their own paths. Much like my family story, Malala Yousafzai's courageous fight for education stands as a testament to how educated girls can change the world. Young changemakers like Greta Thunberg, a fearless climate activist, and Gitanjali Rao, who invented a device to detect lead in water and earned the title of Times Kid of the Year, continue to break barriers. These stories show us how investing in girls' education doesn't just impact one family. It creates a ripple effect. Educated women drive women empowerment and gender equality, two key pillars of the Sustainable Development Goals. The global push for inclusive and equitable quality education is ensuring that even in remote locations, children, especially girls, have access to schools, qualified teachers, and safe learning environments. Countries investing in SDG 4 are seeing long-term economic growth and societal progress. In today's era of YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, it can be easy to get caught up in the world of influencers, viral trends, and non-stop entertainment. But behind all the cool edits and catchy memes, quality education is the real flex. Why? Because it gives you the power to critically think, create real impact, and stand out in a digital age where everyone's just following the next trend. Knowing how to spot fake news, understanding online privacy, and using tech for good are the new superpowers. So let me conclude my speech by saying, yo, listen up, let me spit some facts. Education's the key, no need to relax. It stops the hate, breaks the chain, wipes out ignorance, clears the brain. Bullies go silent when knowledge speaks. No room for fear when wisdom peaks. We rise, we grind, we learn, we lead, planting minds with powerful seeds. No more limits, no more doubt. Education flips the script, no dropout. From deep seek today to heights unknown, with knowledge we rise, we own the throne. Cheers, everyone.
My goodness. Sean, thank you for that speech and that wonderful rap piece at the end. That was truly inspiring. I think it's really important that kids nowadays are really understanding the weight of a quality education, especially because I'm sure everybody in this room has had their fair share of moments in high school and middle school and elementary where they would choose to be anywhere else in the world than at school. But to understand that there are many people in the world that don't have that quality education and that what we have is a privilege truly is inspiring, and the fact that these kids can point that out really goes a long way. Next, I would like to introduce Ryo Brown.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rob Brown, and today I'll discuss the importance of responsible consumption and production. I went to Zara a few weeks ago to buy a new outfit for today's speech, but I couldn't decide between two outfits, so I went back the following week only to find that a whole new collection had replaced those two outfits. Now that, my friends, is fast fashion. Today, I'll discuss how we can achieve responsible consumption and production in 3 key ways: by reducing waste, decreasing food loss, and through education. First, one of the leading causes of waste generation is fast fashion. We live in a throwaway culture, from clothing to plastic bags. This glorification of overconsumption has led to one garbage truck full of clothing being burned every second. The main solution is to rethink our obsession with overconsumption. We do this by buying less, choosing quality clothing over quantity. Zara used to have 2 seasons for clothing. Now they have 52. We buy 60% more clothing than we did 15 years ago. And we wear them for half as long. Isn't that depressing? The United Nations encourages governments, businesses, and individuals to reduce, reuse, repair, and recycle what we have. Second, did you know that the world wastes 1 billion meals a day? 1 billion, while 783 million people go hungry. We address food waste by bringing together governments, businesses, and individuals to get our food to people, not landfills. For example, Japan was one of the leading contributors of food waste, and they were able to reduce it by 31%. Japan started a national government campaign to raise awareness. Apps and websites were created to connect manufacturers to customers. People were encouraged to audit their food waste, avoid overbuying, and to think twice before throwing out a misshapen food. And finally, we must green our education. The way we live is not sustainable, and the key to finding solutions is through education. 70% of young people cannot explain climate change. 1 in 4 teachers do not feel ready to teach sustainable consumption and production. We need a new green curriculum that starts in primary school and continues through to university. This is a lifelong learning approach.
At minimum, schools must set up green governance committees that include teachers, parents, and students to oversee sustainable management. We green our schools through new teacher trainings, audits of energy, water, food, and waste. And lastly, we mainstream climate change education across the curriculum with new lesson plans, new teacher trainings, hands-on projects, and building links with the water community. In summary, we examine the problem of waste generation through fast fashion, how food waste can be addressed by governments, businesses, and individuals, and how a new green curriculum can make systematic changes. I hope that my speech has shown you that responsible consumption and production is too massive of a task for one person. We need a collective approach because we all have a role to play. Thank you.
Ryo, thank you for that inspiring message. It's really harsh to consider the fact that our values as in the global north really do align with things like overconsumption and overproduction. Things like, wanting the newest phone and wanting the newest car and the newest clothes and all of that do contribute to why we have so much landfills and so much waste. And the fact that our children are pointing that out to us really is a wake-up call, right? We do need to make some changes. Next, I would like to introduce Vikasni Mathanagopal.
Good afternoon, everyone. We've all had a nice breakfast and lunch, and we can function very well. But have you ever considered that every 1 in 10 people are starving? Today, I'm here to elucidate about the importance of zero hunger, causes of world hunger, and how to eliminate hunger from our planet. Before I talk about my first point, I would like to share a personal experience about a time when we were on a summer road trip and we couldn't find a venue for breakfast. So we only ended up eating brunch at around 11 o'clock. By that time, my brain and body were exhausted. I realized that I couldn't even last a few hours without food. It makes me feel sorrowful to think about other children who have been hungry for many days. The first point I would like to acknowledge is the importance of zero hunger. Hunger can cause plenty of diseases like malnutrition, anemia, diabetes, and stunted growth in children. When there is no intake of food, your body cannot function both physically and mentally. This is why hunger is a threat to humanity. Now that you know about the importance of zero hunger, let's look at the major causes. The earth produces plenty of food for everybody. Still, millions of people go hungry each day. This is because food prices have gone up due to various reasons, and people who live in poverty cannot afford it. Food waste is also a significant cause. 1/3 of the food produced in the world is wasted due to overbuying, improper storage, and lack of distribution. The last reason is climate change, because it causes natural disasters like droughts, floods, and wildfires. This causes a disruption in agriculture, which leads to food scarcity. Now that I've explained the major causes of world hunger, I will come to my final point about how to achieve zero hunger. Achieving zero hunger is not an easy task, but there are countless ways to do it. For example, we need to train farmers to use the latest technology in order to produce and store food in smart ways so that food is not wasted. World leaders also need to come together and make sure food is available to everyone at an affordable price. Now that you know about hunger and its effects on humanity, the major causes, and ways to resolve it. Everyone should work together and make sure that everyone should work together and play their role diligently in order to eliminate hunger on our planet. I hope my speech has shown you the importance of this issue, and thank you all for your undivided attention.
Vikasni, thank you so much for that powerful message. For young children like Vikasni to tell us about our daily habits and how they contribute to things like food waste and land degradation and all these different things really is inspiring, and it adds to all of these speeches that we've heard today. To add on, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Peyton Lee.
Hello, parents, teachers, fellow students, and esteemed judges. My name is Peyton Lee, and I'm here to tell you about the UN Sustainability Goal, Life Underwater, and how our daily lives affect the flora and fauna of the ocean. The ocean is like the heart of the earth, as it holds so much life, not just marine life. Just as French ocean explorer Jean-Michel Cousteau says, the foundation of all life is in the ocean. Throughout the speech, I'll share how oil leaks destroy habitats, how overfishing will lead to the extinction of other species, and how plastic waste becomes a nuisance for marine life. First, I'll discuss how ships leaking oil kill sea life. Roughly 706 million gallons of oil are spilled into the sea each year. This is equivalent to 17 million bathtubs full of oil. As the oil spreads around the area, it suffocates and kills all marine life. This problem is so big that even surrounding birds can be injured. It's a vast problem, and the only way to stop this is by investing in completely electric boats, which will take both time and money. Secondly, I'll share how overfishing will lead to the extinction of other species. UN sources say that 1 in every 5 fish that are fished are done so illegally. As fishers need more business, they go deeper and deeper into the ocean, destroying the habitat and taking everything that lives there. One way you can help this is by eating less fish to reduce the demand, or you can take a step up by not eating any or only from safe and secure fisheries that are legal and don't use harmful steroids. Finally, I'll show you why plastic waste harms the environment. I know this from my own 2 eyes. When I go to the beach for summer break, I always get bombarded with plastic waste and other garbage like cigarette butts. Some of my family and friends have even seen animals trapped in garbage, like turtles and seals. So next time you're gonna leave your can beside your beach chair, just think, is it really worth the chance of hurting an animal? Well, I know it isn't. Achieving chances for marine life to grow isn't so bad, just by taking a break from all the sushi you're already helping. To wrap things up, overfishing, pollution, and oil leaks break down the heart of the earth and marine life. Did you know there were 17 million metric tons of garbage in 2021, and UN thinks there'll be 2 to 3 times more by 2040? How do you think we can save our Earth? No water, no life. No blue, no green, said American marine biologist Sylvie Earle, showing that without marine life, our planet is just another boring, gray, lifeless planet. Like many of you in the audience, I'm part of the youth of this world, and we're the ones who need to make a stand. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Peyton, for that wonderful speech. As he said, no water, no life, no blue, no green. I love that because we often think about our land and the places that we live, and we often forget to pay mind to those places and those creatures that we don't see much of, right, in the ocean. And so for them to tell us that in order to protect ourselves and our land and our communities, we also need to protect our water sources really, really opens our eyes and makes us aware of how our actions are impacting the environment around us. Next, I would like to introduce Jamie Q.
When you think about the concept of global warming, what do you picture? Well, for me, I imagine the world gradually getting hotter throughout the years. Global warming is a concept that we have all heard about, but we sometimes think it won't impact us because the changes are so small. Although it is only 0.2 Celsius every decade, it can result in many extreme temperatures in the future. Scientists predict that by the year 2500, the world will be 4.6 degrees Celsius hotter than today. The real reasons for global warming are deforestation, burning fossil fuels, and farming livestock. Every year, 15 billion trees are being cut down. Every day, we use 97 million barrels of fossil fuels. Every year, we farm around 70 billion animals. Every single tree that is being cut down means less carbon dioxide taken in from the environment. Every single barrel of fossil fuels used means more carbon dioxide released into our homes. Raising livestock generates nearly 15% of global greenhouse gas emissions. That is greater than all the transportation emissions combined. It uses nearly 70% of agricultural land, contributes to deforestation, loss of biodiversity, and water pollution. As our population grows, it is highly likely that we will rely on these routines more than ever. We only have this one planet, and we would have nowhere to go without it. Imagine if you went outside and it's boiling hot. People are using air conditioning every day to survive. During the winter, there's absolutely no snow. Global warming is a big issue, and though we can't get rid of it all at once, there are things we can do to help reduce the impact. Small actions like switching to walking instead of driving and reducing some food waste can all help reduce the impacts of global warming. Although we may think that one person can't make a difference, if everyone thought that, we would not be able to sustain a healthy environment at all. Every single day, we make many decisions that impact global warming. Wasting some food, forgetting to turn off the lights, and deciding to take a drive instead of a walk are all decisions that we make that impact our climate. So the next time you're about to waste some food that you don't like, think about how one tiny piece goes a long way and try to minimize the amount you waste. After all, if everyone wasted just one less piece of food, we would produce way fewer gas emissions. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jamie. I think when we hear numbers, we tend to ignore the issues. And when she said 4 degrees over the next, say, 500 years, it doesn't seem like that much. But when you think about a scorching 38-degree day turning into a 42-degree day, I would not be outside ever again. So again, don't let the numbers scare you and understand the severity of the issues that these children are talking about. Next, I would like to introduce Alexandra Jacob.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alexandra, and today I will be speaking about quality education. When I initially chose this topic, I thought it would be easy, since I have received a quality education my entire life. However, as I started researching, I realized that not everyone has that same experience. My classmates, who are all equally privileged, defined quality education as more PA days and longer recesses. I interviewed them for a better understanding. No insights there. I needed to explore further to truly understand what quality education means for everyone. This is important because not all people get to reach their full potential. I will explore some reasons children are unable to obtain an educational experience we would consider quality. By the end of my speech, you will learn what I have discovered about quality education, how we may ensure access and inclusivity in schools, and how international cooperation is assisting. To begin, what is quality education? If I were to ask each of you to define it, you would have a variety of equally valid answers. A definition I found explained that education focuses on the whole child, the social, emotional, physical, and cognitive development of each student. I was surprised to learn that 244 million children lack a quality education. 244 million. If we were to define quality education as its narrowest, it would include the basics of reading, writing, math, and a school life without disruptions. My next point will address inclusivity, diversity, and the barriers. Many factors prevent equitable learning. Poverty, cultural expectations, war, natural disasters. Inclusivity means a world where there are no roadblocks to education. Where there is war, education might be the first thing to go as families flee destroyed areas for safety. I was saddened to learn that in some countries, girls are severely impacted by cultural expectations, like child marriage, that limit their education. Then there are children in poverty that must work to help their families instead of being in school. In Canada, diversity means examining our curriculum to include the contributions of marginalized communities. My final point is the role of international cooperation. We can offer our support by donating to build schools in developing countries, running teacher training programs to ensure qualified teachers, and providing scholarships to low-income families so children can become literate, breaking the cycle of poverty. CAMFED, for example, is a nonprofit organization that helps the most impoverished African girls attend school. Now, some conclusions about quality education. My first point stated that education involves safe schools, trained teachers, equal access, and a continuous curriculum. My second point revealed how there are many factors preventing it, and we should ensure access to different communities. Finally, my speech tried to show that solving quality education will help solve other problems as well, like poverty and gender equality. I hope my speech has shown you the importance of how quality education is the key to our future and prepares children for life. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Alexandra. In an ironic way, the fact that we in the modern day can look at education and our children can say, yeah, we have too much school, we want more PA days, we want more summer break and all of that. It is a privilege. But for somebody like Alexandra to be able to point out her privilege and say that what we have is a blessing is really amazing, and I commend her for that. For the next speaker, I would like to introduce Gershon Gill.
All of you must have seen homeless people who probably don't have enough money, food, water, shelter, and education. This is poverty. Poverty means you don't have enough money for food, water, shelter, healthcare, and education. Poverty is an important problem because children miss education and families can't have a quality lifestyle. When my speech ends, you'll learn the causes of poverty, effects of poverty, and how to prevent poverty. Poverty comes from inequalities in communities, wars, lack of basic necessities like water, food, and healthcare. Inequality happens when people are denied their rights, making it harder for them to find jobs and get what they need, leading to poverty. Wars force families to flee homes, causing them to lose their jobs, education, and access to basic necessities, ultimately also leading to poverty. Furthermore, not having enough food and water prevents people from working, finding jobs, and studying in school, making things worse. Moreover, people get sick quickly, and if not treated, can be a huge problem, because the sickness can restrict people from working for a longer duration. To conclude, poverty is caused by many reasons that keep families stuck in the cycle of poverty. In 2019 to 2020, approximately 1.2 million Latinos were homeless due to poverty. Can you believe that? This affects their health, education, and development, as they often struggle to meet basic needs and lack access to medical care and food. Homeless students and adults are more than twice as likely to miss school or jobs and face higher risks of bullying and mental health problems. Poverty makes these issues worse, resulting in poor housing and overcrowded, underfunded schools that hurt their chances for success and health. To conclude, poverty is caused by many reasons that affect families emotionally, physically, and mentally. Poverty has so many causes. In order to reduce it, we first have to work on the root causes. In my opinion, the main ways to prevent poverty is by providing the necessary skills and healthcare. With the necessary skills, everyone will have a job to help the community. This includes electricians, plumbing, etc. This will ensure that families get the basic skills to earn money for the families, and it'll allow for other awesome things to happen. For example, families getting their lights fixed. Wouldn't that be awesome? Moreover, people get sick quickly, and if not treated, can be a huge problem. However, with the proper amount of healthcare facilities, everyone will have a job and can focus on their work. To conclude, poverty can easily be solved can mostly be solved by donating to charities. Poverty has been a long-going issue that affects everyone, even if it's minor. It's important we take action to address this global suffering, because if we don't, children across the world will be uneducated. This will make families stuck in the cycle of poverty. Some people are trying to help stop poverty. For example, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has raised over $50 billion since 2000 to promote global health and development. In short, donating to charities is a simple but yet effective and powerful way, as every penny counts. Thank you.
Gershon, thank you. It's wonderful how he was able to point out that poverty is not just a singular issue, but rather a chain of issue that is extremely hard to break. As he mentioned, poverty leads to low education, poverty can lead to low healthcare, leading to unemployment rates and different things that lead to more poverty. So finding a single solution to solve this issue is very, very difficult. So the fact that Gershon was able to point out root causes is really interesting and really goes a long way. Next, I would like to introduce Arti Vijay Tipan.
Good evening, everyone. I have good news and bad news. The good news is that less food has been wasted this year than last year and the year before. The bad news? Millions of people starve every day. About 750,000 tons of food are tossed out in Canadian households each day. Ever fill your plate at dinner only to scrape half of it into the trash? We've all been there. But ladies and gentlemen, we need to learn from our mistakes. In order to eliminate world hunger, we need to reduce food waste. My name is Arti Vijaytiban, and today I'll be talking about zero hunger. By the end of my speech, you will learn about why you need to care about world hunger, how helping the earth can make a huge impact, and what you can do to help. So, why care about world hunger? 1 in 9 people, 11% of the world's population, is undernourished. World hunger isn't just about the lack of food. It's about the effect it has on people's health, education, and economic stability. When people are well nourished, they're healthier, can work more productively, and can focus better. Ending world hunger means investing in a future where everyone can reach their full potential. And that world begins with us. This brings me to my second point. Helping the earth and supporting farmers are crucial steps towards achieving zero hunger. According to World Renew, many people living in poverty depend on agriculture to survive. When we take care of our land, it becomes more fertile and productive, leading to more food for everyone. This makes it crucial that we take care of our land by not littering, stop using one-use items, and reducing food waste. Rotten food in landfills generate about 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions, increasing global warming and threatening food production. But this doesn't mean all hope is lost. Countries like Ethiopia and Kazakhstan are taking significant steps towards achieving sustainable agriculture, providing communities with better access to nutritious food. This leads me to my last point, how we, as individuals, can help. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of global hunger, but our single actions matter. By reducing food waste and making mindful choices, we can contribute to a healthier planet. Simple steps like meal planning and educating others about hunger can lead to significant change. World hunger is a complex issue, but with efforts from every level, global, international, local, and individual, we can make a difference. Reducing food waste, supporting sustainable agriculture, and making mindful choices are all powerful steps towards achieving zero hunger by 2030. Together, we can build a world where everyone has enough to eat and where children no longer go to bed hungry. I hope you can continue to make zero hunger a reality. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. As many of our speakers have done today, Arthi also opened my eyes to the daily habits that I contribute to that I definitely need to fix. For example, with food waste, I definitely do throw away way too much food, and I would like to learn more about how I can use every part of my food. Things like using a broccoli stem, or maybe your chicken carcass, things like that, right? Things that you'll throw away and you won't think twice about, really go a long way to contributing to food waste. So how could you reduce that footprint is something that we can think about more often. Next, I would like to introduce Owen Lamb.
Good afternoon, judges, participants, and audience. My name is Owen, and today I will tell you about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 14, life below water. Did you know that 1.7 million tons of plastic are thrown into the ocean each year? That's about the same weight as 378,000 elephants. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about reducing marine pollution. Our oceans are a really big part of our life, and most of us take it for granted. In some places, garbage is already everywhere in the bodies of water, and we're supposed to have almost zero garbage in our oceans by the end of 2025. I don't think we're too close to that goal. There's a huge mountain of trash in the middle of the ocean that's almost twice as big as Texas, and in the summer you can see it from Louisiana. When a little fish eats a small piece of plastic, that plastic is introduced to the entire food chain, And that plastic may even end up in our stomachs, while also harming lots of animals in the food chain. Having plastic in our oceans has a huge impact on us humans, because soon we can't enjoy activities like scuba diving in the ocean anymore, or eating non-toxified or non-plastic-ridden fish. This may harm us, as we may not get the right amount of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients we need from fish if we can't eat it without taking in harmful chemicals and microplastics. Luckily, if we all help, we can get a step closer to significantly reducing the amount of trash in our oceans. There are websites and sources that you can donate to help this cause, or for a more hands-on approach, you yourself can go scuba diving in the ocean to collect garbage to take out. Even just recycling more frequently, making small little impacts, can build up to something much, much greater. This presentation has tried to show you all why marine pollution is a problem and why we should all step up and resolve this issue. I hope my speech showed you the importance of protecting our oceans, as helping keep our oceans clean will not only help our generation, but many to come. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Thank you, Owen. Something that Owen mentioned that I hear more and more of lately is the conversation of microplastics. The fact that our water and our food and so many other things that we consume is contaminated by these plastics that we can't even see. It's a very scary idea, and the fact that even young children are aware of these microplastics and how they harm us is truly inspiring and amazing to see, and hopeful for future change. Next, I would like to introduce Elizabeth Kim.
Picture this: a world where every child holds a key to their future, not one of metal, but of knowledge. Quality education is this key, yet millions remain locked out of their classrooms, causing their dreams to fade. Today, I want to share why quality education should and needs to be a right, not a privilege. Good afternoon to parents, judges, fellow students, and teachers. My name is Elizabeth Kim, and today I'll discuss quality education, how it affects our lives, and why it should be accessible to all. Not every child gets to hold a book. Can we change this? Let's find out. Let's talk about short-term and long-term effects of quality education. Short-term benefits include cognitive development, improved knowledge, social skills, and access to quality resources. Now, here are some long-term effects. We often discuss poverty and community injustice, focusing on fixing those issues after they occur. In the US alone, $1.2 trillion is spent every year in an attempt to combat poverty. However, wouldn't it be more beneficial to address the root problem? Well, that root cause is access to quality education. A UNESCO study found that if every adult received 2 more years of any type of education, 60 million lives would be out of poverty. That's 2 years for 60 million lives. Education has power. Why are we dismissing it? Making quality education accessible to all is vital for a prosperous society. Yet quality education is often blocked by economic barriers, social inequalities, and geographic disparities. Many families struggle with tuition and educational expenses, leading to 258 million children and youth out of school in 2018. Now let me ask you this. Why should geography or even income dictate a child's future? Why should so many bright minds go untapped? Despite these challenges, viable solutions do exist. We can improve global education by building more schools in developing countries, offering student loans, prioritizing women's education, incorporating local languages, improving teachers' pay, and providing school meals. These steps can enhance access,
quality, and equity in education worldwide. One of the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN is quality education, which aims to ensure access to early childhood education, the elimination of gender disparities, equal opportunities in both technical and tertiary education, and an increased supply of qualified teachers by 2030. In conclusion, quality education is crucial for individual growth and societal advancement as a whole. By addressing accessibility issues and embracing innovative solutions, together we can empower every child to unlock their full potential, not with a key of metal, but one forged in books, in knowledge, in classrooms, and in hope. If education can change the world, then what are we waiting for? Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for that inspiring message. Yet again, she mentioned how chains of poverty, hunger, and different types of struggle are rooted in quality education. The statistics that she mentioned, that just 2 more years of education could make a vast difference. Something to think about for future reference. Next, I would like to introduce Thomas Rodriguez.
Hello, my name is Thomas, and today I want to talk to you about a very important topic, climate change. Climate change is something that affects every single one of us, no matter where we live. But first, what exactly is climate change? Climate change means our world is heating up over time due to human and natural causes. This warming happens because of a few reasons, but one of the main ones is the greenhouse effect. What is the greenhouse effect, you may ask? In our atmosphere, there are gases known as greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide. These gases are important because they act like a blanket, trapping just the right amount of heat from the sun to keep our planet warm enough for life. Without them, Earth would be too cold for humans, animals, and plants to survive. However, because of humans, we are producing way too much carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. For example, when we drive cars that run on gasoline, use planes for travel, or rely on factories for making things, we release massive amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Deforestation also plays a role because cutting down trees reduces the amount of carbon dioxide that plants can absorb from the air. Now that we understand what climate change is, let's talk about the consequences if we don't take action to stop it. As the world gets hotter, glaciers will melt. This will lead to rising sea levels, which will threaten coastal areas and small islands. Hotter temperatures mean faster evaporation, which create more water vapor in the atmosphere. This will lead to more and intense storms, hurricanes, and floodings in some places, while other areas might experience droughts and wildfires. Crops that we depend on for food, like wheat, rice, and corn, may struggle to grow in these extreme conditions, causing food shortages and rising prices. Animals that cannot adapt to the rapid changes in their environment may go extinct. There are many things each of us can do to help. For example, we can ride bikes or walk instead of driving cars, use buses whenever possible, recycle more, and avoid wasting water by turning off the tap when brushing our teeth. Using less electricity at home, such as turning off the lights, can also make a difference. Governments and big companies also play a huge role in fighting climate change. Governments need to invest in energy sources like wind and solar, which produce energy without releasing harmful greenhouse gases, as well as planting more trees and protecting forests, can absorb excess carbon dioxide and restore the balance in our atmosphere. In conclusion, climate change is a serious issue. By making small changes in our everyday lives and pushing for government policy changes, we can help reduce the effects of climate change. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Thomas, for that wonderful speech to finish off the 11 to 12 age speech competition. As Thomas mentioned, driving does contribute to a lot of the carbon emissions that we see today. And myself included, we do need to do a better job of finding other modes of transportation that are much more healthy for the environment. So Thomas, thank you for that message. So this marks the conclusion of speeches from our final group of speakers in the 11 to 12 age category. Let's give a round of applause to all of our talented young speakers for their exceptional presentations. As we conclude our speeches, I want to express my sincere appreciation to all of our extraordinary finalists. Your presentations have been truly inspiring, and you have each brought unique perspectives to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you for the dedication and effort you put into preparing and delivering such impactful speeches today. You have all shown remarkable courage and creativity, and witnessing your talents has been a privilege. Now, our esteemed judges will have a few moments to deliberate and finalize their decisions. Parents, students, and other members of the audience, we will have a 15-minute break for you to get refreshed, and we will be back for the award ceremony. Please return in about 10 to 15 minutes. Please join me in welcoming Hafsa Ismail, founder of Power of Words Academy, to share a few words with us. Please give her a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here with all of you today as we celebrate World Speech Day and our much anticipated award ceremony, especially as we mark the 10th anniversary of this inspiring movement. Over the last decade, World Speech Day has empowered voices in over 100 countries. It's inspiring to see so many young people today stepping up, speaking out, and driving change. Now let's take a moment to hear from Simon Gibson, the visionary founder of World Speech Day, as he shares his insights and the significance of this milestone.
Hello, everyone. A few weeks ago, I was listening to a World Speech Day event in Bahrain. 20 minutes before that, I'd been part of a discussion with speakers in Singapore. In today's connected world, maybe that wasn't so surprising. But in that moment, something shifted in me. I realized that I was part of a global experience, listening to voices that were authentic, grounded, and full of ideas. Crucially, I was not part of a conference. I was part of a discussion, as though I were there with friends around a table. And that epiphany gave me a new understanding of what speaking can be. Not just being heard, but contributing to something greater than ourselves. A new kind of speech experience, where speaking isn't only about performance, but about contribution. Not, I want people to hear my speech, but instead, I want my voice to become part of something bigger. Because at World Speech Day, a speech isn't just a personal idea. It's a building block. It adds depth to an evolving story of people everywhere. It's part of shaping a sense of world citizenship. And that shift changes everything. It removes the fear of not being heard, because the value is in the giving. It invites us to speak with less ego and more purpose, to see ourselves not as solo performers, but as co-creators of a shared dialogue that stretches across borders and across generations. Even after the speech ends, the sense remains. A thread in the fabric, a mark on the map of connections. This is what is building. Speaking not as a moment, but as a movement. Not applause, but contribution. Not performance, but presence. Each voice matters because together they tell the story of us. And that's exactly what this fantastic competition, staged by the Power of Words Academy, invites you to do today. Not just to speak, but to lead, to share ideas that matter, to make your voice part of something that lasts. Because the future leadership begins with courage to speak and the wisdom to seek others. Thank you very much indeed.
That was truly an inspiring message. Simon captures the essence of how powerful our voices can be. A huge thank you to him for his dedication and leadership in bringing us together for this important celebration. Now, before we get to the part that everyone's been waiting for, the awards, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our amazing students. You all have been so incredible today. Each of you tackled important global issues with so much passion and insight. It's been a privilege to hear your ideas and visions of how to make our world a better place. I also want to give a big shout out to our judges. Today, you did not have an easy task, especially with the remarkable speeches that we witnessed today. Thank you for your commitment and fairness in judging. And of course, I can't forget our wonderful moderator, Naomi, our dedicated teachers from POW Academy, and all the volunteers. This day could not have been possible without you. Finally, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our sound technician up there in the booth, Alex. We only met yesterday, and I was feeling really anxious about my partner having to take on the lights, soundboard, and projector with no prior experience. And, Alex stepped in without even knowing us, generally stepped in to help and ensure everything ran smoothly today behind the scenes. I can't thank you enough for truly saving the day. Thanks, Alex. And now it's with great anticipation, I will hand the floor back to Naomi to lead us through the awards ceremony. Thank you again, everyone, for making this day so remarkable.
Thank you, Hafsa. It is now my privilege to invite our distinguished judging panel, Sophia, Taslim, and Shama, to the stage to present the medals to the contestants in the 7 to 8 age category. Please welcome our finalists in the 7 to 8 age category. As I announce your name, kindly proceed to the stage. Saina Maria Santos, Avery Jin, Jacob Chang, Margaret Shen, Kabir Ball, Canon Achong Lau, Theo Yu, Gurbani Sindwani, Akib Ahmad, Alicia Ma, Vasav Singla, Ember Tam, Avir Sandhu, and Mateo Romick. Now, I invite a panel member to share a few words and reveal our first, second, and third place winners.
Hello, everyone. This was a very difficult decision to make. Everyone, we want to congratulate you for an excellent speech. You really had us thinking about how we can help with these United Nations Sustainable Goals and how we can all do our part to help. Thank you for inspiring us, and you have given us a lot to take away from. Without any further ado, we'd like to present the third place award. This contestant gave us some very powerful visualizations that really helped us to imagine what living in poverty may feel like and the struggles one may face. He did a great job explaining the causes of poverty and what can be done to end poverty. And as this contestant had said, no child, no family, has to live in poverty. We would like to congratulate Vasav Singla. Congratulations, that was an excellent speech about no poverty. Next, we'd like to congratulate our second winner. This contestant did a great job, and we want to say thank you for sharing your personal connection with us regarding the topic of gender equality. By sharing your grandma's experience of growing up in India and not being allowed to continue beyond elementary school, just because she was a girl, really made us feel how important this topic is, and we really felt how personal it was to you. We would like to say thank you for reminding us the importance of achieving gender equality. We'd like to congratulate Kabir Bal. Thank you, Kabir, for your wonderful speech on gender equality. For our first place winner, we wanted to say thank you to this contestant. We wanted to say you did a really great job explaining the problems of plastic and in our oceans and overfishing. We really felt how passionate you are about protecting our oceans, and you were very engaging to watch. We couldn't take our eyes off of you when you were speaking. We would like to say congratulations to Amber Tam for your wonderful speech on life below water.
Congratulations, finalists of the 7 to 8 age category. We really do commend you for all of your hard work and dedication that you put into these speeches. You may go take a seat. Next, we will award medals to the contestants in the 13 to 15 age category and announce the first, second, and third place winners. Please give a warm welcome to our finalists in the 13 to 15 age category. As I call your name, please make your way to the stage. Sinthuja Ratnam, Hilary Ding, Sybil Kutsi, Sanjana Santosh, Anya Narangde, Varshini Sivasilan, Amira Wani, Iman Malik, and Jessica Du. Judges for the 13 to 15 age group, please make your way to the stage. Amber from the first age group, can you make your way back to the stage? We do have one more thing for the first place winner of the 7 to 8 age category. I now invite one of the judges of the 13 to 15 age category to say a few words and announce the winners.
Congratulations to the contestants in this age category. We could see that you really did a lot of research and learned a lot about this topic before creating your speech and telling us about how your thoughts are in terms of what we can do together as a community and as a global society to help these goals. For the third place, we'd like to say congratulations to this contestant. This contestant did a great job in reminding us the importance of protecting life on land. And this was a quote from the speech that really stood out to us. To be able to live on this planet is not a privilege, but a necessity. It sure is. You provided excellent and attainable solutions for how we can help protect life on land. Thank you so much for the wonderful suggestions on what we can do to help life on land. We'd like to congratulate Hillary Ding. Great job, Hillary. And we'd like to present the second place award to this contestant. This contestant did an excellent job putting things into perspective for us. With the example of ketchup being just a condiment for us to use, but a treasure for others. It really showed us how ketchup could be so important for those living in hunger. During this speech, this contestant has told us at the end of the speech that 75 people have died while I've been talking to you. That's a very astounding statistic, and we really hope that together we can conquer zero hunger. Congratulations, Anya Narang Day. Congratulations. And now for the first place winner. This contestant told us just 3 simple words: health is wealth. And it has such a deep meaning. And this contestant also told us where you live should not determine whether you live. This contestant told us the importance of focusing on good health and well-being. And thank you so much for all your insightful suggestions on what we can do together to help this topic. Congratulations to Sanjanya Santosh. Congratulations to all of the contestants in this age category. We are very proud of all of you.
Thank you so much, finalists, for your hard work into these speeches, and I can really tell how much dedication that you've put into researching and working hard and everything that you've put into presenting these speeches and putting them together. So let's once again put a round of applause for our 13 to 15 finalists. You may all take a seat. Now, I welcome to the stage our distinguished judges, Mason, Livia Gruich, and Taslim, to present the medals to the contestants in the 9 to 10 and 10 to 11 to 12 age category. Please make your way to the stage. Please welcome our finalists in the 9 to 10 age category. As your name is called, kindly come up to the stage. Sahana Vinotan, Vinay Singh Kaloti, Raifa Pirbai, Kathleen Nguyen, Janita Ratnam, Alicia Jacob, Adam Ahmad, Insia Yamani, Ian Lee, Shiv Singla, Ayana Sharma, Callie Darmos, Dimitri Nasi, Henry Kim, and Kaylin Howe. Let's give a warm round of applause to our 9 to 10 category. Now, I would like to invite one of the judges to share a few words and announce the winners.
Hi, everybody. It's been a very interesting day, a very inspiring day. And I will just say for this 9 and 10 group that as judges had an extraordinarily difficult task. We're so impressed by their poise, by their passion, by their words. And if our future has anything to say about it, I think it's going to be a good one with these kids standing behind me. So well done, everybody. It was really incredible to see you all be up here. It's not an easy thing, right, to stand up in front of a stage in a theater with spotlights on you, especially at your age. So really proud of you, and really well done for everybody. Our third place winner really drew us in with her passion, I think, and talked about forests, animals, and plants, renewable energy, and really sort of made us feel what she was feeling in terms of sort of the urgency to make some changes. So our third place winner is Janita Ratnam, the UN Sustainable Development Goal, Life on Land. Our second place winner spoke about sustainable cities and communities. And I think as judges, what really drew us to her short talk was a personal experience of being in Colorado and being inspired by seeing the green spaces and the farmers markets and wanting to bring some of that light and green to Toronto and other places, other big cities around the world. And so we really learned a lot from your talk, Alicia. I really enjoyed it. And for that reason, you're our second place winner. Congratulations. Our first place winner spoke about the UN Sustainable Development Goal, No Poverty. And what drew us to this particular speaker was him really speaking from the heart and being really authentic and personal in what he was saying. And so, small acts of kindness, I think, as a tactic to address poverty was something that really resonated with me personally. And we're really thrilled to give Ian Lee first place in this category. Congratulations, Ian.
Finalists in the 9 to 10 age group, thank you so much for your hard work. I'm sure on behalf of the judges, I will say myself that we wish that we could give everybody here a trophy, but to make it this far is already such a huge accomplishment. So thank you so much for all of your hard work. You may go take a seat. You can go take a seat. Finally, I will be inviting our finalists in the 11 to 12 age category to the stage. As your name is called, please come up to the stage. Karthihan Kamalanathan, Sophia Chen, Lucas Zhu, Noor Al-Haya Hafiz, Pavan Purushothaman, Sean Santosh, Ryo Brown, Vikasni Mathanagopal, Peyton Lee, Jamie Q, Alexandra Jacob, Kershawn Gill, Arthi Vijay Tipan, Owen Lam, Elizabeth Kim, and Thomas Rodriguez. Let's all come together to applaud our finalists in the 11 to 12 age category. I now request one of the judges to say a few words and announce the first, second, and third place winners. I now invite one of the judges to say a few words and announce the first, second, and third place winners.
Thank you so much. How about a round of applause first for all our contestants? I have to start by saying that the judges did not have an easy time with 16 amazing, strong voices that spoke for such powerful causes. So good job to all of you. The prize is really standing up here and speaking from the heart, and you all did that with such grace today. So give yourselves a big pat on the back because you are all winners. So now to announce the third, second, and first place. Our third place winner really drew the judges in with her grand gestures, with her vocal variety, and she spoke about responsible consumption and production and gave an example that many in the audience can probably relate to as she spoke about fast fashion and trying to shop at Zara's. And hopefully we can all take some suggestions from her moving forward. So I'd love to announce our third place winner, Rio Brown. Congratulations. Our second place winner just took the mic and walked right out on stage, and that takes courage. Not only that, but you were very comfortable. You drew us in, all the judges, with how you started with that example, with that key, and came right back to it in the conclusion. Great job, great confidence, great topic about quality education, obviously. So congratulations to Elizabeth Kim, our second place winner. Now, I will not attempt to do a rap. I am just not that good. But not only the rap gives you the first place today, you came on the stage with confidence, you gave a personal story when you spoke about quality education, you smiled, so you just exuded confidence all over, and obviously that rap at the end really blew everybody away. So congratulations, big congratulations to Sean Santosh Kumar. So maybe a big round of applause again for all our wonderful contestants. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much to the finalists of the 11 to 12 age category. Once again, your hard work and dedication has really paid off, and you all deserve to be here, so thank you for that. You may now all go take a seat. Thank you, Mason, Livia, and Taslim, along with all of our other judges, for your commitment and expertise. Let us all give all of our judges another round of applause for their invaluable contributions. This now concludes our award ceremony and the celebration of World Speech Day. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who participated and to those who joined us as spectators today. Thank you for being a part of this inspiring event. We wish you all a safe journey home, and we look forward to seeing you again next year. Thank you.